Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity, and Love. Incredible experts the world over with incredible insights and a lot to share on the show. They've usually been through their own transformative journey of some sort. They're helping others today. We'll call it giving service. We've had incredible experts for such a small show. We've had a huge guest footprint. We're growing. We're over 500,000 channel visits with about a 20% subscription rate. So reminder, stick around for later in the show. We're truly unique. A lot of guests take steps with the universe on the show. At the very least, we light sage. You get to catch the sage smoke through two screens. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years in the future, you're in Germany, New Zealand, Tokyo. There's no way to explain it except life, the universe is always bigger than you think it is because it's not about thinking. Back to a few of the guests that we've had on: a White House physician to the US president, another doctor running at any given time around the globe, 7 disaster relief programs, tsunami, earthquake, famine, you name it, she's doing it. US Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, Order of Australia. We've had New York Times bestselling authors, one Super Soul Sunday guest, another Super Soul 100 teacher out of Sweden, and just a whole plethora of folks who are super cool and groovy. Speaking of which, today, super cool and groovy, super high vibes, super galactic, super plugged in, super good advisor, whether you're in the Fortune 100, 500 circles, or just needing help one way or the other. I am having the hardest time pinning her down. She has reinvented herself quite a bit, but I have a couple quotes that I'm going to give. And I think this points the direction in how she helps others, either collectively or individually. There's an old expression from India: a mind that is fast is sick, a mind that is slow is sound, a mind that is still is divine. And then I would add one more line for her, even though the quote ended there. She helps you find your heart, tap into it like a Formula One race car driver, and teach you how to drive on the track, all out and win the race. And that's what she does. 1 + 1 = 111. One more quote that's a little more standard, though. Gary Zukav from Seed of the Soul: you change the way that you shape the light that's flowing through you by changing your consciousness. And that's what she does, is she helps you own the shaping, like a surfboard. When you go to make a surfboard, you have to shape it. She helps you shape your own surfboard so you can get going, riding life, and having fun. With that, the introduction's over. Solara Rose, coming to us from California, but not your usual digs. Thank you for coming on Angels, Positivity, and Love.
Yes, so happy to be here dancing in this magical sparkling field with you. Ah,
You are super high vibe. You're super, I don't know, if it's galactic, cosmic, there's a word. What do you like to say?
well, I would say those and just infinity, avatar, creation incarnate.
And was there a point in your life you ran away from this all, or you were completely not paying attention? And then how did you get completely aligned with the program?
Yeah, so I actually never ran away from it. I ran so far into it, so deep, headfirst to the depths of the ocean. I was like, I want to be filled with all the sumptuous treasure of wisdom, of divine genius, of intelligence. And I actually took it to an extreme in that directionality. I just plunged fully. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell us, how long have you been doing what you've been doing now, this iteration of it? How long have you been doing it for? And can you add a little flavor?
Yes. So for 15 years professionally, I've been doing this. However, I would say 25, 30 years. When I was a teenager, I was intercessing and praying and evoking things, and was very aware of the correlation between my inner world and my outer world. I was like, I'm praying, but actually I'm directing energy. I'm directing my light, and my reality, the mirror of the quantum field, is responding to me with precision. So how do I master this being, this avatar, to be purely prolific divine intelligence, and so that I can sculpt, it's like arriving at the space of enlightenment where we become aware of ourselves as one unified being of love, and then from that space being able to direct that light, sculpt worlds of love and romance and beauty and adventure into being. And there's just zero limits to what we can craft from our core of wholeness.
Okay, and these are some technical questions, just so the audience is going to pick up on this super high vibe, but I want to try to help them understand how far this has gone for you. Are you seeing light 24/7 around you, or do you turn it on, turn it off, or is it only nighttime, dream time? or it depends, or somewhere in between?
Yep. So I would say 24/7 simultaneous awareness is how it exists for me. I'm local and non-local at the same time. So it's like holding infinite perspectives. However, they're all the perspectives of the divine, seeing through the lens of pure source energy. And so it's like this multi-prismatic kind of disco ball of existence that I'm at the center of, and I'm dancing and gliding through my creation from that space, which is so profound because we are the grail as that energy. Everything that we extend our awareness into, it essentially it alchemizes to our divinity. And so it's just pure magic, synchronous unfoldment.
Okay, I've got an original question. I finally got one. Which music festival or movie would you want to use to describe what you're going through these days? It could be even down to a Disney film, because some of those are actually the coolest. But is it a music festival? Is it a movie? You can pick one of each if you wanted to describe how waltz-like, how wonderful, how energetic this flow state
Hmm.
is.
You know, my first inclination was to say Burning Man, which I love, because we just returned from Burning Man, and it is such an augmented field of consciousness, like full spectrum. Whatever we have going on is augmented and crystallized instantaneously. We are looking at ourselves, engaging, dancing, playing with ourselves. And so it's this really palpable, beautiful field, like an adult wonderland, truly. And the way that I experience it more in my heart and my soul and my inner world is like, it's kind of like an old time jazz cafe slash ballroom. You walk into this ballroom, there's vaulted ceilings, there's velvety silken drapes, there's warm romantic lighting everywhere. Everyone's laughing and enjoying a delicious meal together. There's candlelight, there's beautiful jazzy music playing in the background. And it's literally like an infinity of these ballrooms. You can walk from one ballroom to the next, these spheres of experience. And you're just opening up into more vividness and vibrance, and really wherever your vision takes you.
Can you give us a laser-like example? You were like waking up one day saying, I need this to happen, I want this to happen, or however you want to phrase it, but then it just happened. Like, can you give us one of those examples of just, it was so uncanny how quickly, though, it
Yeah.
happened? Okay.
I mean, I would say my beloved now is a gorgeous example, because I was ready for a massive expansion in my life. And I wasn't like I would love a husband, or I would love multiple millions of dollars, or I would love a new home. I was actually resonating in the space of receiving the one love of existence at a deeper level than I ever had before. I was like, okay, darling. So I'm like having this conversation with my cosmic being. I'm like, saturate me, bathe me, show me how extraordinary it gets. Like, just bring it on. And of course, I'm just naturally a romantic soul. I love cozy, lush spaces. I love travel and adventure. And within like a week or two of being in that space of intentionally, like deep in the cellular matrices of my body, receiving the one energy of source, all of this crystallized simultaneously, all at once, and just completely maximized my entire existence. And I wasn't really expecting the exactitude of all of it, but I knew it was going to be juicy, right? Like when we're welcoming in the love, the life, the light, the symphony of the one, and we're speaking to our eternal heart, and we're saying, darling, lavish me in love. That's what happens.
What have you seen or noticed over the last decade in terms of what, at the biggest level, big picture for mankind, more consciousness, more lights coming in? How do you like to describe it for folks? What is this an opportunity in terms of growth for, or what's this all about?
In my experience, it's about self-realization, self-illumination, becoming aware of fully who and what we are in absolute ultimate truth. Who am I as my God self, as pure, benevolent, divine, yummy, scrumptious love? Like, who am I as that energy? And cultivating the resonance and the felt frequencies of that in our body, and then being in a dialogue with infinity. Like it's like we have this magical treasure chest at our side that we don't access often. Some people don't access because we're in our head and we're thinking about how to heal, fix, save, solve. Like if we come out of the head into the sensory somatic experience of the body, allow a greater intelligence to emerge, and actually just dance through life and union in relationship with our own infinite intelligence, things just become so almighty spectacular, because we have infinite intelligence at our fingertips, and it's like, I love you, I'm here to serve you, it gives me pleasure to serve you, what would you love to experience? And it's like, oh, okay, so you've got this best ally within and around you, as you, in all moments. And like to access that, to tap into the treasure trove of that, is world changing.
When people engage you, Zoom works just as well as in person, or do you insist on in person?
Well, a lot of my work is facilitated via Zoom because I am so global international with our travels, with our lifestyle, with the beautiful, brilliant beings that I serve. But really, an immersion, like if you want to come hang out with me for a week or two and just saturate in the frequency, be in a glorious atmosphere that like you just stepped into heaven, right? There's harpsichords, there's gold, there's plates of fruit and delicious, nourishing food, there's music, there's activations, there's meditations, there's dialogue. My experience is having an immersive space of that catalyzes the most profound and prolific expansions and growth. And of course, then I'm there to support with the integration, because it's a massive frequency to step into. And we have to really learn how to, most of the time, how to sustain it, integrate it, and move forward with it as an integral part of our embodiment.
Okay, now I'm jumping in a different direction, but it's still really current. There's the whole UAP UFO disclosure thing, but this has technically been going on for 45 years, all the way back to Billy Myers in Switzerland, who with an 8mm before AI computers existed was interacting with Pleiadians, got a piece of the ship, photographs all the time, tons of stuff. It's been going on forever. But is the universe really big and we're not the only casino on the strip? Also, is love the fabric of the universe? And can you handle how it's all groovy and cool?
Beautiful questions. I think it would be just a wee bit naive to think that there's not like major life forms out there aside from us. I mean, we are the manifestation of light. We're looking at solar bodies and lunar bodies and constellations and galaxies of stars. There's quintessence everywhere, what NASA would describe as dark energy, dark matter. Like these are all aspects of living conscious intelligence, and it's everywhere, it's pervasive. And so I would say that the fabric of the universe is actually space-time. The fabric is space-time. That which is not graspable, the consciousness, the intelligence, the radiance, the harmonic that creates the oneness, that holds it all together, that is it all, is love. Absolutely. That, and what we would describe as love is one grand luminous harmonic. It's the Om, the sound of creation. And when we are vibrating in accord with the totality of our being, that's pure power. That is the majesty of being creation that fulfills our creations.
I keep getting energy running up and down. I'm enthusiasm. You got to take me with a grain of salt, but I keep getting all the way up to my scalp, up and down my back when you're talking. Lots of fun vibes. So this is good. And also, you're the only person so far in almost 200 shows taped. We're about episode 115 or so out. You're coming out in 2025. We'll have you back on if you want later. Yeah, but you're the only one who gave the asterisk over love as the fabric of the universe and did a bigger explanation. So bravo. Not that everyone is, let's do what Ananda Mayama said. Everyone's right. I mean, obviously, if you're spending your energy that way, I've never met anybody who says, I'm going to go spend my energy in the worst, wrong way and waste it for the next year. But that's exactly what we do when we're up here. You help people get to here. Before we go a little more galactic, can you talk to us about how important this is and how you can go decades not paying enough attention to this?
Oh my goodness gracious. So easy in our culture to get pulled out of this and into all the other places. And it's really, tuning out the noise and coming home to the seat of our soul, our heart, who we actually are in our deepest core in essence. And it's intimacy, establishing intimacy with the heart. It's the largest, we know this now. Heart Math is a brilliant institute that supports us with this awareness, is the most palpable electromagnetic field in the body is the heart. It creates this glorious auric field around us that transforms our being, our health, our environment, our relationships. And it's all coming from the heart. So the way I see this spiritually is all of our upper and lower chakras merge in this power center, and then we emanate it out. So it's the omniversal open heart of cosmic Christed consciousness. I love all of me. I celebrate, I cherish, I adore, I appreciate all of me. And really, when we master all appreciation, all of creation is available to serve and love and support us. And it's really so elegantly simple at its center. But it does, it's intimacy, not allowing the hustle and bustle of life to keep us in our head or to pull us in various directions of doing, of accomplishing, of achieving, of proving ourselves, all these things that we can get into in the world. And just like, I am enough. My heart is my power, my majesty, my magic. Let me establish intimacy with this, show up as love on a moment to moment continuum, and watch the magic unfold. I think there's so much thinking that we have to utilize the mind to construct and generate a blueprint for our life, when really the heart is like, actually, still the mind, and let me reveal the blueprint, the plan, the vision to you, and follow that stream, live in sync with that stream. And what unfolds itself is much more magnificent than what our mind unto itself could have ever conjured.
Mm. And we're going to go experiential in just a little bit, but I got one more quote for you. But just before then, I want to mention Bruce Cryer, former head of Heart Math. He's been a guest on the show in 2024. I'm going to guess June-ish. People can look it up on the website. Full guest list for 280 plus shows booked into October of 2025 at this point. And we're only in the end of the summer of 2024. So we're doing pretty good on that. The question or the quote for you to spark a little bit of like, oh yeah, I love that quote, and yes, everyone should be doing this, is from a NASA astronaut, Story Musgrave. He said, getting out of the comfortable path, that's what exploration is all about. But for you, I'm going to add here again, or all of it, the universe, because you got to explore. First, you got to know thyself, which is what you say in some interviews. And then it all opens up for you. Keep going with that if you don't mind getting propelled in a certain direction.
Yeah, that's it, really. Divine, I call it divine identity mastery, but know thyself. And there's also this magnificent quote, and I don't recall who it is by, but it is the journey of self-discovery, or we could even say self-realization, is not in seeking new landscapes, but in seeing with new eyes. And so it all begins in our internal space, our being the seer of self internally. And then, of course, wherever we go from there, I mean, all these glorious adventures. I know my capacity has just been stretched in this recent year because of the sheer magnitude of travel and play and going to events and experiences that we've back to back to back to back to back to. And when you're in that, you have to stretch. Like, that's the only option. And it's beautiful, because then you can look back on everything that just unfolded, and it's like, wow, I am more powerful, radiant, strong than I was prior to that. And I maybe didn't even fully recognize it while we were in the stream of it, but it grew me, it stretched me. And we can take that essence of, we can bring the essence of that self-realization, that inner discovery with us into all of our adventures, which to me is like the spice and je ne sais quoi of life, because now I'm in a romance with my own being. And it's so, if I've had people who have lived with me in the past who are like, wow, you talk to things. I'm like, of course I do. It's like Beauty and the Beast. So there's the Disney movie. I'm like, everything's alive. Everything is divine consciousness. It's my friend. It's my ally. We're in communion with each other. So it's like the ultimate expression of divine union.
Well, and that's a very cultural thing in India that everything has consciousness to it. That's a big help. I mean, India is like 40 countries in one, but a big portion of the countries believe completely in that. And I think that's totally cool and accurate. I mean, everything has consciousness. And with that, I got an India quote for you. One more quote. I got out of college in 90 and I didn't have an official diary, but I wrote down these 20 quotes. And for 18 years, I wondered what non-duality was. It's in this quote. Until I was sitting with the Thich Nhat Hanh book at an Acura dealership on a curb watching some leaves swirl. And I read the only non-sentence in the Thich Nhat Hanh little book, pieces every step. But it's like blah, 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 non-duality, period, not two, period. And I'm like, wait a second. I waited 16 or 18 years to find out non-duality means not two. I didn't have a professor. I was lazy. I didn't look it up. But here's the quote. It's from Siddha Katrapa, God knows how many years ago. Not good with the details, but here it is. Whatever the yogin sees is his instruction, and realization that all he sees is unborn. That is the most excellent guru. Innocence is the way to realize non-duality. For here the effects of virtue and vice are one. Reaction.
Yes. Yes.
I like that. Okay, I'm gonna blow sage your way. We know it works because we did it before the show. But if anybody's watched me as a guest on about 70 shows, or the 190 guests, there's 2 guests I forgot to do it for. They were so enthralling, I completely skitzed out, didn't do anything. I was just like hanging on every word. And then there were a couple guests, they're not going to do it, and you're not going to do it before the show or after the show. But it's good to have guests that are happy and smiling. Period. So that's the most important thing, is hospitality. I'm going to light some sage. People can catch it. It doesn't matter. Again, 2 years in the future, Tokyo, Japan, wherever you're at, 2 screens. I think our guest is going to tell you there's no such thing as time and space the way you think there is, because it's not about thinking. Okay. Ask for a triple tier tiramisu, no calories. But sage, why not get flowers? And why not get ocean? Or if you're really groovy, super cool, ask for something totally, you. Ask to see your own light flying out of you. That's pushing it. So like write a nice comment and keep it together. Yeah, but you can see butterflies made out of light. That's really easy. Ask angels to bring you multicolored butterflies, so there's no way somebody opened a window and they're real. They're a galactic light and you're just having fun. Kids can do this faster than adults. Or you're getting beyond the kid adult thing and you're just getting into your heart. What are you getting, Solara? Are you catching sage? Are you catching flowers? Are you catching a little bit of like Maui Wowie?
Oh my goodness, there's fireflies everywhere, galactic celestial diamond light codes, glorious silk velvet garments of my royal divinity, golden white archangelic wings and halos of light, essence of the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the mountains, the forests, the jungles, all the beautiful wildlife, all these pristine quintessential frequencies of divinity operating everywhere in the heavens and the earth and the cosmos and the soils, archangelic presence, ascended masters, cosmic, galactic, celestial councils of light, our allies, the sacred holy earth, all the beautiful, glorious nutrients we are blessed to have in our lives, cornucopias of the most delicious, nutrient-dense foods to nourish our bodies, our cells, our energy, our hearts. And just all the magical, mystical, fairy, and elemental wisdom realms dancing about, sparkling their light, reminding us to be lighthearted, to dance, to play, to return to the innocence, the purity, the goodness, and the benevolence of our being, to embrace, to hug, to love life.
Oh my goodness. And I have a fairy photo for you, and I have an angel who makes hearts in all her photos named Heather. It's the word heart rearranged with extra letters left over.
Wow.
But there's a fairy named Ginger, and I'm going to put that down. I'm going to do my light first. You don't have to show us yours. But here's the background. Blue sky is number 1. And remember, if you're at the beach, your feet are in the sand, you've got no earthly issues. That's the number 1 time, but trust me, you're going to forget. You're going to go snooze. It's the number 1 time to see your light all over, or to see your neighbor's light, or to see the dog, or to the porpoise on purpose. Here we go. You get a dad joke out of this. The more you laugh, the more you're in your heart, the more you're letting go. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to go even bigger. You'll see my light between my fingers like a wisp. They did this in Celestine Prophecy this way. In India, they do it this way. But another guest who was totally kicking it as an adult in the 70s, said they were doing this back in the 70s before the movie existed. So it's just universal love consciousness that you're seeing. See that, and then ask angels to go really big, or the galaxy, or the universe, or Christ consciousness, or the whole diamond clarity thing. Get hearts, dolphins. Get two people have gotten phoenixes. I'm going to start channeling here in a second. Phoenixes. You get something extra. Was not my light. We're going to blame angels. Don't blame Canada. Here we go. So here's the dad joke. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. And just what color Solara are you seeing flowing between the fingers?
Ooh, indigo and ivory gold.
And then the last 10 seconds of this, can you just ask for extra, like getting the cherry on the sundae? What do you see coming off of it? Fireworks, flares, a butterfly, a heart, hearts.
Frosting and sprinkled and fireworks galore.
I didn't do it. Okay. So clearly, so the audience has to understand your background. You went wide open. They stripped the Ferrari. You don't even have seatbelts in the Ferrari. You don't need it. I'm not telling people to drive without seatbelts. That's not what this is about. This is more of a metaphor. Okay, but you like stripped the vehicle down to just the essence of the essence. That's it.
That was it. That was it. Had an awakening, gave away everything that I owned, and just trustful into life fully, completely. It was like, who am I? Who am I without the job, the things, the car, the familiarity on any level? I mean, away from family for a time, just like immersed in these deep worldwide travels. And I knew I had to do it. I felt it in my being. I was like, I have to go to this depth. I have to go to this core. And it was exhilarating and terrifying simultaneously. I was like, here we go. I am choosing to trust life. And then that eventually evolved into a profound knowingness. Love is.
Is there a number one figure? I mean, there's probably like dozens, but is there a number one figure you just absolutely adore who's been like one of the top love advisors this whole time? Is it your guardian angel? Is it a figure from India? Who's your favorite, even though you got a lot of favorites?
Yeah, I would say my God self. And that's my most authentic answer, because there's so many beautiful, brilliant beings who I synthesize the wisdom and the gems and the jewels. And I always access the most pristine, precise, coherent wisdom from my own divine self. It's just, I go straight to the fountainhead, to the source, to the genius of existence, to our own pure consciousness. And it just...
You don't have to get into the next question, but were you given your origin story? And in terms of like, this is a fancy word, I never say it this way, incarnations on Earth. How many times have you done this rodeo before here? And then are you from somewhere else? But again, you can just say, I've gotten that info. No need to share it. You can do anything you want with this one. What's the answer on that?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is I remember being infinity, infinite expressions of intelligence throughout all space, times, dimensions, realities. I've had dreams arise. I remember specifically before this incarnation coming in as like a wise elder, like planetary light system, like greater than a galaxy. And the vibrational communication was that I was required on Earth, and I darted down here and incarnated in a body, and here I am.
I love this. Okay. And I had a really good question next, but it's going to come to me in just a second. Let me buy time. Oh, I know what we can do. I'm going to put up Joy's photo. She's an angel, pink ball light. If you've never watched the show before, and people could treat her like a fireplace, but I don't mean like light the logs. I just mean like feel some sparkle, some joy. And then she'll give you a topic that's like right up your alley. You would have been asked this anyhow. You would have wanted to talk about it anyhow. You two are kind of like merged a little. What is she reminding us all about, and what are you reminding us all about?
Sensuality, beauty, art, romance, fulfillment in the present moment, not rushing to the destination, but savoring every morsel of life here and now, to be fully synchronized with the richness and the beauty of this moment.
I love it. Don't be Russian, be open. Okay, here's Harmony. She's Harmony, another angel, even though she shows tranquility as a general word down below. I've lost my English. And then it's supposed to be rainbow light. It is what it is. It's kind of interdimensional. Photos will move, change color. Even historical photos will wink, smile. Maybe we'll do Audrey Hepburn next. But what's Harmony got for you? She's a big angel.
Yes, I am the resplendence of grace, the master code of creation. When you are in harmony with all of you, you are free, you are powerful, you are creation.
And now back to Heather, who makes hearts in her photos, but I better show a heart. Just one other heart, just so you get a reaction.
Mm.
And here is that heart right here. So she makes a lot of hearts in her photos.
Yeah. Just like the deliciousness of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, where we just like love everyone and love everything. And we are in the warm, ooey gooey, delicious frequency of pure empathy, pure compassion, recognizing all is love or a call for love. And in that, we liberate ourselves from ourselves to be the love that we are.
Oh, you're doing great. All the archangels in a second, but here's four: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. I call them rainbow pie slices. It's easier that way, but you can
Yeah.
feel the vibe. They can ask for a smell. They can ask their own private question. What are you getting right now from those?
Yeah. Just delicious prisms of light, how we are these diamond light beings that refract and reflect light back to ourselves throughout the total prism of our existence. And to be multifaceted, be the full rainbow, be all of you, allow the totality of your uniqueness to emerge.
Hey, now jumping sideways, have you had one of those moments the stranger said something, did something, and you turn around, they're gone, or you just are like, holy cow, this one, it's not real in the normal way. It's cosmic going on right now. Can you share one of those, whether it was last week, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I had a really ominous moment with a dear friend of mine named Love. Actually, this is almost a decade ago. And we were enjoying an evening out with friends, and she turned to me, and it was like the infinite I am presence kind of just came through her being and her body, wide-eyed, looked at me and said, "You are the master puppeteer." And I was like, I was kind of caught off guard and just kind of taking in what she just said. And then it's like the presence came out of her, and that was that.
Does she remember saying that at all? No.
Yeah, she
Oh,
does. She remembers saying it. Yeah.
okay. I got a Mac for you. Don't call her a Mackenzie. And angels, after 13 years, there's nothing that ever stays quite constant. They started giving their origin stories. Some are cosmic, but some are from Andromeda originally, Orion. What am I missing? Pleiades and Sirius. Not trying
We're,
to be serious.
yeah.
But this one said Pleiades with a touch of, I think, Orion. But Mac, don't call her Mackenzie. Everything plants, animals, and nature. What are you getting from Mac?
Yeah. So Pleiades is self-love. And for me, it normally actually comes in as a calming, cooling, soothing blue energy. And Orion, family constellations, are remembering our origins as one united family of divinity.
Nice. And I'll do one more. Archangels, a group of them. And you should feel this. If you want to put both hands up, you can start to feel the vibe that way, or use your whole body as the
Yeah.
vibe. Yep. And
That's super electric.
is that when you're feeling that one?
Yeah. Yep. That's like the neon lights. That's a party of existence.
Okay. Can you to get it back to practical and tactical treetop level? If you're a business person, you love business people and you love business models because you generate solutions, but they're not just a person's coming to you saying, "Hey, it's on paper over here." And in the end, you're not like having to worry about the paper. You get them the answers, but you get them here and you show them an even bigger situation that they get to take advantage of. Can you talk about that dynamic a little bit?
Val, what is the specific dynamic? Like,
That they get to tap their own flow more, and then their
oh,
answers come, and then their
oh.
unfolding happens for their business. It's everything first is the heart for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, infinity is a hyper self-organized intelligence. I mean, it is the supreme blueprint. And so if we allow our business plan or whatever it is to be revealed, all the tactical, practical, logistical aspects of life, we're shown in the moment. When we access our flow, we're operating from pure genius intelligence. Like what comes through for us to enact in those moments is at a much higher caliber than any kind of a system or architecture that we could put together. We're going to be shown automation, leverage, efficiency, like the design itself of the frequency is going to show us the most prolific and precise path we could possibly take.
And daily for you, is it meditation? Is it dream time at night? Is it all the above? Is it just being in the shower? Is it taking the dog for a walk or swimming? Or is it, again, all the above? How do you go maxed out, even though you're probably maxed out all the time? But how do you go creative that way where you're tapping in even more?
Yeah, so I'll share two of my primary practices that I keep in balance. And one is about an hour long enlightenment activation sequence where I'm just focalizing the essence and the nature of who and what I am. Thank you that I am. And then I do a full-on activation on all of my light centers, my chakras, energy lotuses, vortices out into the infinite expanse of existence. So I'm essentially utilizing the technology of superposition to bathe everyone, everything, all aspects of creation with love, divinity, honor, appreciation, joy. And I'm very thorough, ornate, and specific in how I facilitate that activation. And so there's that, which is more engaging and interactive. And then the second one is spaces to actually just empty my chalice and circulate light. So I'm focusing on feeling the sensations of the breath, rolling ecstasy through my body, and I'm allowing the breath to illuminate and enlighten me with more awareness.
Mm. Okay, now a different question. If an institute, one of the consciousness institutes somewhere was like, here's a $5 million blank check. We want you to do 3 to 5 retreats. I can do this, 3 to 5 retreats abroad. You can't use continental US. What are the 5 geographies like Latin America, Greece, Bali, Hawaii? You can use Hawaii, but nothing continental US or Canada. Where would you pick for 3 to 5 retreat locations that are totally kick butt for you, like high vibe? You love the place.
Morocco, Brazil, Africa, Hawaii. Those are the primary ones that are.
Where in Africa?
South Africa.
Okay, now where in South Africa? Are we talking Cape Town or somewhere else?
I'd have to, it's been a moment since I've been there. I'd have to look up the little, because we go on these adventures into these kind of like remote places, right? So it's really, it's rustic and it's primal. And sometimes I actually don't even know where we are.
No, that's cool. What else can you talk to us about? Look, there are a lot of people who are just getting started, or they've been doing it this isn't a judgment on anyone. You know, this has been going on since the 70s. Seth, Jane Roberts, the New Age thing back then. But there's like leaps and bounds happening and just dwarfing a lot of what's been going on for 30 years. So
Yes.
how do you talk about all this? There's acceleration happening. That's the best I can do. But can you put it into proper adult words for us as to what you're seeing for how rapid that transformation is now available to everybody?
Yeah, we're recollecting who we are. And I would say that there's a primary group of beings on the planet who are just so hyper aware. They keep moving in that direction. It's like the infinite grand playground. So we keep activating codes, enriching, deepening, expanding through the collective avatar, all of this energy, and it's just bolstering everyone and everything, because that's the most powerful prominent frequency in existence is our divine infinity avatar realized. And so it's like you can imagine embodying yourself as that. You're activating your whole super organism and accelerating the consciousness for every cell that's a part of that super organism.
Can I be a dork and I'm going to put up the fairy again just to show you. So you're getting a pylon. Ask all the figures you know, all the ones that are unconditional love. Here's the angel who's light waves of energy and water, Min. And here's a Claire who's resilience and angel. There's joy. I'm trying to build up the group here that's cheerleading us on here for the next quick thing. A Rebecca who comes from a galactic spot that's far, far, far away where music originated. And then there's a Charlotte, everybody's favorite school teacher from childhood with words meant to help you expand. With your permission, I'm going to put my hand up in Texas. You put your hand up, only love and above, not my bill-paying thinking side that I go back to in an hour. But feel what you can feel. And if you don't mind describing the vibe, whatever words work.
Shimmery, sensuous, gorgeous, light, enchanting, elegant, easeful, graceful,
Ooh,
divine,
gonna get us kicked off YouTube here. Yeah, thank you. But keep it up. I'm gonna whoosh your rainbow light at least 2 or 3 times. But when your eyes open, you can see a symbol. It'll be all angels doing this. Ask her and blame the angels. Don't blame Canada again. But I'm going to whoosh you. You can see a symbol of light. You're probably already getting it in a second. But when you close your eyes, it'll carry with you with your eyes shut, because I know you like to do eyes shut. But if you don't mind feeling a lot of rainbow light, feel it up your back, up your front, whichever way, and a little Hawaii too for the mix. Here it comes. I'm going to blow into the microphone for a little Hawaii wind on your face.
Mm.
Wailea, Kanapali, Kapalua, whatever. But allow for that symbol to pop up and just say, got it when you got it. It's private to you. And maybe a color. What color is it, or colors?
Got it. Ivory white.
Oh, nice. Cool. And if there's anything you can say that adds a little more context, that's great. If not, we're totally cool. It's private to you. You just got a lot of love just now, didn't you?
Yes. The ring of eternity.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay, so talk to us about your galactic background one more time. Since we're starting to do galactic, like at least 25, 30 shows, we've also had a lot of the UFO, UAP level, show hosts, or Alan Steinfeld, or SETI's senior astronomer, Seth Shostak, one of the biggest institutes in DC who follows the blow by blow, and a lot of experiencers too. Were you given you already mentioned your galactic origins, but at one point way back down the line, was it Pleiades, Andromeda, Sirius, somewhere else? Do you know that as well?
Yes, serious, most certainly.
So this is so awesome. I have to write mine down because unfortunately my brain is like a sieve. It's a total plus for what I do. But on the other hand, if I don't write it down, man, I do not remember. So I have got a Pleiadian mostly to throw myself under the galactic bus here. A touch of Andromeda, and then Sirius. So ding, ding, ding. A little matching there. Here's the one from Sirius. Get something private about your whole thing. If you want to close your eyes, she'll show you a quick vision. But then have her give you a reminder for us all that's big picture. We're going to get away from the galactic in a second, back to daily living. Get something private again. It's like a tip for being such a great tour guide for us today. And then the big picture reminder from us all. She's a soft-spoken professor, and you are wildly off the charts energetic. So people need to understand, they engage you. You just get into the whole center of everything, and bam. There's no like halfway doing it, or 1/10 of the way, or 7/10.
You get calibrated, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's either do or you do not. And so do some people run off when they try to engage you and then they realize, oh my God, I got in over my head?
So most people are like really stoked and excited about the juiciness of the journey. And then sometimes there's some folks who are will fight for their limitations and are in so much resistance to their own divinity, but they stay.
Do any who go ever come back 2 years later and they're like, now I'm ready. I had enough happen.
Yep.
There's
I've
that.
had that many times too, especially at the beginning part of my journey, because I was already kind of just like out there in this way, and it was not as common then, but people would come to me years later and be like, okay, I get it now, or I had an awakening, or can you support me,
Yeah, awesome. Okay, what was that big picture reminder for us all? Treetop level, daily living. What do we need to just keep in mind? How simple is all this?
Relax, melt, and merge into the oneness. Everything will resolve itself from here.
And we're talking, this is a big messaging point, whether it's other interviews or just what you tell people, the here and now, like right now.
Right now.
Right now.
That's it. The simultaneous now. So it's the eternal now. It's a very specific now. It's not like the now of my human mind. It's the now of, this is the only moment that exists in sheer divine perfection. Wow. And I am this at the center of this. And as I move in harmonic resonance and oneness with this energy, it resolves everything that the mind is so busy trying to figure out.
And yeah, there's nothing to gain and nothing to lose. Could you explain that? Like, stop the doing, or at least pump the brakes. 7% less thinking a day is what she said. but I can flip that pancake and say it a different way. 7% just more heart, and watch everything, your walls fall down on the flimsy house. Like,
Yes.
just fall, and the roof's not going to hit you. Don't worry about that. Okay, what is this about? There's nothing to gain, nothing to lose. It's like the record scratch sound, and then people are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How does that work again? So you're saying we have it all inside?
Yes, so this is a super exquisite master code. So nothing can be added to or taken from your royal exquisiteness. We are the infinite. And that knowingness, that awareness, that resonance of the magnitude of our being is so fulfilling, so satiating, so rich with spiritual nutrients. There's nothing else that we could possibly want or mind if it oscillated in and out when we're feeling the majesty and the beauty of that space. It's like all is well, all is perfect. Whatever is here or not here, whatever is added or taken, what comes, what goes, like I am. And that is the big cosmic yes, the satisfaction, the fulfillment, and simply resonating in our wholeness as that energy is what creates all the manifestations in our lives. We don't have to think about the partner or the vacation or the whatever it is. We resonate the truth of us. All of that happens automatically.
I love this. Well, we're about to wrap it up, but I'm going to do one final exercise. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm going to do a normal Bic lighter. It'll be a flame. Say any color you see in the normal flame. Orange, white. There's a little blue down below, but what do you see?
Gold.
Good enough. Now my finger is going to be the Bic lighter and catch a little light, but then if you could then ask the galactic crowd to do extra. So here's my finger. Let me go back on an old bodyboarding experience. Can you see my light right here?
Yes.
And then ask for butterflies again. I'm running out of designs. Butterflies, hearts, I'm limited. I can't think of anything else. Unicorn. What are you getting on top of that? Anything extra?
Ooh, Metatron's cube and some champagne pearlescent sparkling lights spinning and twirling.
I love this. Okay, so the universe is really big. You've got no limits. Wrap this up for us. You've only done a million of these shows, and again, you're in play for helping people big time. People can reach you at your website. The details will be in below the video. It's solararose.com. But can you give us a pep talk on how, like, literally this may sound like a lot for some, but it's really just kind of sliding into a beautiful pool, and you're ready for that?
Yes. I mean, really, all you have to do is relax into it. Like, architect your life like a heavenly spa date, like have fun, be playful, rest, relax, chill out, have the adventure, live life like every single day is a holiday. Like, all we're doing is opening into the fullness of what we are. And when we open, all of this light intelligence releases from our DNA helix and reveals consciousness to our mind. We become aware. Our conscious mind receives that light. Light is intelligence, it's information. So all we've got to do is relax and open to the fullness of who we are, and everything begins to emerge and inform us. It's all within us.
I finally figured out your Marvel superhero sort of, it's not your name, but it's who you are. Unbridled creation consciousness. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't have
I
a
love
name
it.
or anything like that. Here, let's get a compliment for you. You don't have to share it out loud. I am going to do Audrey Hepburn, and then we are wrapping it up. Here's Charlotte. Get a huge compliment on how much zest you have.
Oh,
And just say, got it when you got it.
got it.
Yay. Okay. Audrey, I'd be totally amiss if I didn't put her up. This is a historical photo of her. She's an angel. Folks at home, this is so easy. I probably forgot to say this on air, but just set your intent. Be like, angels, universe, get me out of my head into my heart. I don't care if you're about to play pickleball. You want to hit a winner, have joy jump in your arm. You want to smell flowers, even though you're not near a garden. You got no limits. So just ask, allow, ask, and receive is my final bit.
Ah,
Here's Audrey as an angel. Catch uninvented perfume from Paris. Let her move in the
yes.
photo. Eyebrow goes up, wink, smile, shoulder waggle. And did you get a shoulder waggle?
Yes, and we have the same birthday.
Oh, I love this. Okay, here's something very private, and then get something very public you can share for all of us.
Ah, Date with destiny. Yes, darling.
And she's not shy. She embodies exactly what you're talking about. Every time she shows up for people to see, she's like on the red carpet. She unfolds her wings. She doesn't just unfold her wings. She does all the pizzazz, sparkles, and flares coming off of it. She doesn't hold back. Yeah, and nor should you or I or whoever's watching. So with that, you get one final, if it's a mantra, and this has to fit on a t-shirt, you can use the front of the t-shirt and the back of the t-shirt. What's the final mantra you want to leave us with?
Know thyself, love thyself, flourish in liquid paradise.
Darn, that was original, good, and unique. I like that. Solara Rose, you're incredible. Thank you so much for being on Angels, Positivity, and Love. I got to say, you rock. Cosmic.
Yes.